is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. It is more about them than it is about the team. Cannot play with them. Cannot win with them. Cannot coach with them. Can't do it. I want winners.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? I just hope we can win a game.
You need even more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs. Straight together is the 30. And he's low. And Rams inside the 30. 20. 10. Touchdown.
Where the f*** is my second belt? I've already got this one. Where's the second one at?
My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat your children.
Oh, shh.
I think that the NFL knows what Randy Moss has done with marijuana. And I think the NFL knows what Randy Moss does with marijuana.
You gotta be kidding me.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me. He's questionably parked near Venice Beach. We're live, shirts versus Tims, with Alistair Conrad.
Oh, man. Good morning indeed. Thank you for joining me. So, those of you watching on Facebook Live, welcome to Shirts v Skins, by the way. I'm Alistair Conrad. Anyway, those of you watching on Facebook Live, you can see the conundrum I'm in right now. So the Facebook app was giving me issues on my phone, and so I just completely got rid of it, thinking that I was able to go Facebook Live just on my phone through the internet, though. And apparently I can't do that. So I gotta move this. This is hilarious. So I ended up, that could work. Hold on. So I ended up basically setting it up against the microphone, and as you can see, whatever. So anyway, thanks for joining me this morning. Quite a bit, actually, in the news to get to. And I want to start off, obviously, last night, keep in mind, football is over now. And that's, for me, obviously, those of you who listen to the show know that that's pretty much the basis of, my show. So, for the next, obviously we'll have the draft and free agency and so forth. So, it's not going to be 7 months without football, but at the same time, it's definitely going to, be a little bit more difficult for me, to fill the hour, with, other random stuff. Obviously I can do it. I'm not worried about it. I've done this for however many years. But at the same time, there's that certain melancholy that comes in when football is gone. But I'll get to that. Obviously the Patriots, and by the way, I just saw on ESPN that the Patriots put the trademark in for blitz for 6. How do you blow that? Atlanta. And I wanted the Patriots to win. I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. Obviously, anybody who listens to this show knows that. But wow, that is an epic fail. It's an epic fail. The 49ers, could you imagine the 49ers fans watching that Super Bowl and just thinking to themselves, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. This is what we're getting. This is what we're getting." Really? So it's just terrible. But yeah, I just saw the blitz for 6. So anyway, the Patriots are really good. And what's interesting is when you think about the 7 Super Bowls, 5 and 2, a lot of people say, oh, well, they could easily be 3 and 4. Actually, 2 and 5. If you really want to, think about it, they could be 0 and 7 if it wasn't for Vinatieri. They could all, the Giants, they could be 7 and 0. Football happens. That's the beauty of sport in general. Things happen. Nerves can really do crazy things to people. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan, And I don't necessarily know if it was like Mike Martz in 99 back, when they were playing not 99, 01 when they were playing the Patriots. And went away from the run and so forth. And he kept on throwing and whatnot, playing right into the hands of Bill Belichick back in 01 even. And like Mike McCarthy against the Falcons, just wasn't smart. He didn't run the football. And then Kyle Shanahan, offensive-minded dude, ended up, not running the football. It's boring. You don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It cost him a Super Bowl. Cost him the Super Bowl. Just, it felt a lot like John Van de Velde in the British Open years ago. And, how crazy that he could just blow it, right? It's just unbelievable. So, anyway, they're champs, and I won't talk about that. That was a week ago. That was a long time ago. What I would like to talk about is the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City game last night. To me, the outcome of the game wasn't necessarily ever in question. Golden State's the better team, and they had already beat them twice this season, albeit both times in Golden State, the first time by 26, the second time by 21. So for me, the outcome of last night's game wasn't necessarily what was in question for me. It was like 1-on-5. And Russell Westbrook, as great as he is, and no offense to Victor Oladipo, to Steve Adams, but when you look at the starting five for each team, come on. It's not close. And the Golden State Warriors are 46-8 or whatever they are for a reason. They threw some I'm looking at the box score here, J. McGee. Is that JaVale McGee? There's no way. It is JaVale McGee. Wasn't he a first-round pick back in the day, too? Anyway, a perfect example about a guy, an absolute no-name, who's had a garbage dumpster fire of a career so far, and then he goes to Golden State Warriors, and I rediscover my talent. I know how to play basketball again. I'm telling you, location, location, location. It's not only in real estate, it's also in sport. We saw it with Randy Moss. Went to Oakland after a really good career in Minnesota and didn't like it. Bad players around him and didn't want to be a part of it and didn't play well. And JaVale McGee looks to be, a person like that in that situation. But to me, like I say, last night, it wasn't the outcome so much that was, a mystery. Kevin Durant going back to OKC. Russell Westbrook is on, I think this is interesting. Russell Westbrook and Michael Jordan, if you watch the career path of both of them, Michael Jordan in the 80s was what Westbrook is right now. He is the one-man show for Oklahoma City, as was Jordan back in the 80s. Didn't have the necessary pieces around him. Fast forward a little bit, Jordan ends up getting Pippen. They had a couple more pieces. And next thing you know, by the way, I can't see your messages, unfortunately. I have no idea. If you guys are making comments, I can't see them. I don't know why. I'll reinstall the app on the phone so I can see that. Whatever. I apologize. I can't see what anybody is saying, and it is what it is. So, I apologize. But it is an interesting situation. Westbrook, he's obviously in the prime of his career, but at the start of his career, he was with Durant. He was with James Harden. They both left him. And now he is the Bulls of the 80s. So it's an interesting arc. He started off where Jordan finished, and midway, their cross paths, their paths cross, and end up, now being in opposite spectrums. Jordan finished off, obviously, at the top. Westbrook, great. He's a triple-double machine. He's, it's good for him. Obviously, he's very, very good. But at the same time, Durant left. Harden left. And now Oklahoma City is the Bulls of the 80s. And it's interesting to me. Everybody, obviously, loves Westbrook, his game. He's exciting. By the way, he had a triple-double last night, but one of them was turnovers. 11 turnovers I saw. I mean, whatever. They weren't going to win the game anyway. I'm just saying, it's 11 turnovers. But Bulls of the 80s, OKC right now, mirror images of each other. Mirror images. What I get bothered by about last night's game is the story behind Kevin Durant going back to Oklahoma City. Everybody, against Kevin Durant outside of Golden State in the Oakland area. How could he leave? Oklahoma City's not, laying him into a restaurant when he comes back, and so forth. A lot of different ways to look at this. Number one, if it's you and I don't know why it's different in sport, but if it's you and I, why can we go to greener pastures? Why can we go and get the better job, relocate if needed? And in sports, we poo-poo the people who do that. It's so hypocritical. I get the fact that Oklahoma City wanted Kevin Durant to stay in Oklahoma City. I get that. But Kevin Durant, like you and I, should be able to do what he wants to do. What's better professionally, career-wise, for him. And the media, to be able to build a story of discontent and hate and spew that vitriol Kevin Durant's way is wildly unfair. I understand the dynamic in sport. I get it. But just because as a society we're told a certain thing doesn't necessarily mean you have to go with it. Media tells everybody, oh, Kevin Durant's the bad person for doing this. And everybody jumps on board. I, unfortunately, admittedly, go on too many comment sections of stories. I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I do it, because this is what I have learned. 100% to be true. Whatever the story is, just like dogs at a dog park, if there is a dog being beaten up, picked on, there's not any dogs who go and stick up for the weak dog. They pounce. That's just what they do. It's the same mentality in a comment section about the story. If a story is, oh, this guy's not doing this, it's just blah, 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 everybody piles on. I don't know what it is in our society that makes people just like sheep and go with whatever the story is. Kevin Durant, he must be bad. Kevin Durant left? How could he leave OKC? Number one, have you been to Oklahoma City? Seriously, it's terrible. It's a horrible place. I have never seen that many ugly people in my whole life. 2, not a lot to do. It's an ugly city. I'm sorry. Sorry, OKC. Oh, I'm pretty sure you know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know. It's just like somebody who's not the most attractive. They know they're not that attractive. Sorry. So the narrative is given to us to say, oh, Kevin Durant's a bad person. He's a bad person. we would be all doing the exact same thing. Russell Westbrook's looked at the good guy in this. He's poo-pooed 2 people out of town. James Harden, I'm shooting out of the sky. I don't necessarily know if this is fact or not, but did James Harden leave because he is a third wheel, or did he leave because of Westbrook? Possibly the same reason Durant left. Not only is OKC a dumpster fire of a city, and Houston's not that much better, quite honestly, but, for Harden, it's a combo deal. And on top of that, furthered Harden's career. Durant does it too, and it is just insatiable, the appetite to pile on in this society. Man, I'm telling you, it's just, we would all do the exact same thing. We would all do the same thing. If we were Kevin Durant, and look at how much happier he seems. Did you watch last night? Have you watched the whole season? He seems to just be in a better place mentally. If you're unhappy at your job, but you're just going to, trod through it every day because it's what people think you're supposed to do. I just have an issue. I really do. I have a huge issue with people having an issue with Kevin Durant. Or for that fact, any person who wants to leave their situation. Who are you to tell them what they should do? Kevin Durant wants to leave OKC. Good for him. The grass is greener sometimes, and in this situation, it is. And everybody's upset with Kevin Durant. Instead of looking at Russell Westbrook possibly and thinking, yeah, he does kind of come off as a little rough, a little, I don't know, edgy. I love watching Westbrook play. It's incredible, right? I love watching him play. Tenacity, that madness, the hate that he plays with, I appreciate it. But at the same time, you can't be mad at Kevin Durant for wanting to go and be a part of something that's really, really good. Obviously, they're 46-8. I didn't know, deep down, I don't know if they can still win it. Playoff is so different than anything else. And so we'll see come playoff time if they can get past the Spurs, because that's the only team I think could possibly do anything. But, so bottom line is, the narrative in media, what they make you believe, that is the problem. Everybody's willingness to just go with whatever is being told, whatever you should do, that is what people just do. There's no sense of own thinking that goes on, and I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. I did a stand-up last night, and this is just a piggyback onto that mindset. I did a stand-up last night, downtown Los Angeles, and needless to say, it did not go well. I went with the same routine that I did a couple nights ago that did really, really well. But sometimes you're going up against people who, even though it's comedy, still are taking it personal. Does that make sense? So instead of going to a comedy club and just laughing, and just having an open mind, you let your personal feelings get in the way. I have a joke on the Muslim ban, and obviously the narrative for this country is to think, oh my God, how dare we do that? How dare we ban people from coming in? How dare we? And so I go on the flip side of it, and and try and just get a rise out of people, but they are so embedded mentally into thinking, oh, you can't laugh at that. Well, yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Everything in the comedic aspect and genre should be laughable. It should. That's my opinion, but that's comedy. It's the last frontier that anybody has outside the PC world that we live in. And that's the same thing with the Durant. Everybody, oh, how dare he? Oh, and if you say anything different, like, oh, well, you're just not loyal. You're not loyal. He should have stayed in OKC. Really? And be upset and miserable? Just like you would not stay in a job that you're upset and miserable with. I just don't get why everybody is just so blinded, so short-sighted in certain things. It's okay to look at things from a different dynamic, from the other perspective. You don't have to be locked in. It's okay. It's just like Chris Rock said long ago. There's things I'm progressive about. There's things I'm conservative about. You're not always just one thing. Open up your mind. Kevin Durant going to Golden State is what all of us would have done. All of us. And Russell Westbrook, albeit great to watch, fun, looks like he's kicked 2 really good players out of OKC. So, look at him as the hero and Durant as the villain, but you're completely confused. You are wildly confused. It's incredible. Incredible. Speezy, you, I don't know why all of a sudden now I can see these, the people in the box and everything. Conor and Floyd, you know what, man? He wants to know what, the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, what I think on it. You know what? It's so much money. Yes, I do believe it would happen. I do believe it will happen. Back in the day, I think Muhammad Ali fought a wrestler. I really do. So yeah, I think it can happen. I just think anybody who will spend money on it is a fool. Look at the 2 people, number one, who are in it. You've got Conor McGregor, who openly says, the only thing I want is Floyd Mayweather. Really? Why is that, Conor? Why is that? It's money. So that's all you want. That's all you're about. That's good to know. Right on. Hey, to each their own. To each their own. That's what you want. Have at it. Sweet. And then Floyd, we all know, is all about the money. Floyd, money, Mayweather. So, I mean, this is, again, I'm talking about the society, and I should just move to an island away from people in general, because I'm getting so frustrated with just society and how stupid everybody is. Like, oh yeah, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to spend $100 on that fight. Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Just stupid that fight would be. Any idea? Like how dumb that fight would be. You think Floyd, number one, Floyd's never gonna get hit. If it sticks to boxing, if it's a boxing match, Floyd's never going to get hit. All right? And Conor is going to get so frustrated that he is going to end up probably like shooting the knee and taking him down. Which, yeah, to a lot of people, paying the $100 is the only type of entertainment you're going to see. That's it. This is so stupid of an idea. It's killing me. It makes 0 sense. It makes no sense. Conor's not a boxer. He's an MMA fighter. Anybody who thinks any different, I'm sorry. You don't know what you're talking about. You just don't. And I hate to sit here and sound like I do. Like I'm the smartest guy in the room. But it's bothersome to me that you can actually think this is going to be of any substance whatsoever. Any. It's just the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. The dumbest. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Oh. And you know what the problem is? I'm the only guy who watches both, And nobody watches boxing anymore. All they know is the name. Oh, Floyd Mayweather. Oh, God. Apparently, he's really good. He's 49-0. You know, even if you're not a boxing person, you know who Floyd is. But I am a huge boxing fan. I watch all his fights. I watch more fights than you even know. And Floyd is boring in the ring. People talk to Guillermo Rigondeaux as being a boring fighter to watch because he's so defensively perfect that nobody can land a shot, and he's not very offensive. You know, so to watch Guillermo Rigondeaux is boring. Well, Floyd is the exact same person. He's unbelievable defensively, and you can't get a hit on him. So why would Conor McGregor, who's not a professional boxer, even have a chance? Not even he would be. It would be so embarrassing, and such a waste of money for any of you thinking that it's going to be something, because it's going to be zero. It's going to be nothing. The worst interaction ever in a ring. That's what it would be. Sorry, Eric, to go off on a tangent on that, but that is the truth. It's just the truth. That is exactly what would happen. And it would be super boring, really boring. Flip it around. What if it was an MMA style fight? So, you know, Floyd would get killed. And that's the problem, is that they're both superior at their skill. They don't you know, have the other's skill. That's the problem. So don't think that this is going to be something that is, you know, unbelievable, because it's not. It's not. So there you go, Eric. That's how I feel about Conor and Floyd. An absolute waste of time. Absolute waste of time. Getting back to basketball, you know, pretty much this is what the show is going to be. I'm going to go political. I'm going to go basketball, and maybe some MMA and boxing. I don't know. We'll see how it all takes off now that there's no football. But I want to talk real quick about the Timberwolves. And obviously before the season started, the Timberwolves were, you know, kind of everybody's little darling to, you know, make the playoffs. They've got, you know, a lot of really, really good young talent. They brought in Tom Thibodeau. You know, that's what everybody thought, right? It was Timberwolves, all they need to do is play defense. They can score the basketball. They just need to play defense. Tom Thibodeau had 5, you know, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6, whatever it was, one of those two in Chicago, as, you know, one of the top defenses in the league. And then they made the playoffs every year. So he's going to come to Minnesota and be that guy that puts it all together. Kind of like the Minnesota Wild with Bruce Boudreau right now. All of a sudden, you know, and, you know, that's what, they're in first place, by the way, the Wild. And I think that's what the Timberwolves were expecting. They were expecting this type of outcome that the Minnesota Wild hockey team is experiencing. The type of success that they're experiencing. They're thinking, with the right coach, we can move forward. We can get past and get into the playoffs. Thibodeau's going to bring the defense. Here is what is interesting. I think, you know, in a lot of sports, defense is arguably all about effort. I don't think there's a sport that is more of an example of that than basketball. And even though Thibodeau comes, who supposedly is a defensive guru, I shouldn't say supposedly, he's proven himself to be a defensive guru. I believe not only is it youth by the Timberwolves, but you look at the people. It's all about offense. Nobody wants to play defense anymore. It's no doubt effort, but it's also a mindset. Thibodeau is not able to get through to Towns, Wiggins, and company because I I quite honestly, I'm not sure. Panda! What's up, bud? Love you. I'm not sure what it is with the Timberwolves. If it's youth, you know, if it's just a refusal to play defense, which that could be. That definitely could be. I don't know. But everybody thought Thibodeau was going to come in and be the savior, and it hasn't happened. So what is it with the Timberwolves? Because offensively, they can score, right? That's not the problem. I'm looking up right now. They're 20-34, but I'm looking up their points against. They're giving up 106 points a game. Wow. That's not even the worst in the league. My God, okay, so this is very telling. This is very, very telling. Opponents, there are 3, and I think there's 30 teams in the league, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. There's 3 teams in the league out of 30 that hold the opponents under 100 points. And guess what? The 3 teams that it is are not surprising. Utah, San Antonio, and Memphis. All 3 of those teams are widely league known, NBA known. Anybody who's in basketball knows that those teams play defense. That's what they do. And so that's not a surprise. 3 out of 30 is a surprise. So getting back to Minnesota is, it's amazing. 3, 6, 8th. They're like middle of the pack in the Western Conference at 106 points given up. James, Mr. Holmes, hello, my friend. I agree with you. The Timberwolves lack heart, but how is that defined? Is lack of heart because they have heart on offense, I think is what I'm getting at. They have got a lot of heart on offense, right? Is the heart a lack of will on defense? Is it their lack of a willingness to put forth the effort? Which, yes, you're absolutely right, Jim. Heart, but it's only half the side of the court. They've got a lot of heart on offense. But on defense, they lack heart, they lack effort. But again, is it because Thibodeau's defense is too much for them to learn? Or is it because they lack effort? Or is it because that is the NBA now? It's, the 80s, I guarantee you, yeah, I would. I'm confident. I guarantee you that in the 80s, at least half of the teams were giving up less than 100 points. It's just the way the game has changed. In all sports, well, NBA and football more than anything. They've tried it in hockey to open it up, and I don't necessarily know. I'm not the hockey guy, that. But, I don't necessarily know. They try it in baseball. All I know is every sport, it seems they try to up the scoring. They try and make it more, exciting. Whereas for me, I'm a defensive guy. I love watching the 10-7 Steelers-Ravens of old. I've said that 1,000 times on this show. But 3 out of 30 teams are below the 100 point in basketball. And so for the Timberwolves, it's frustrating because you see the talent on the team. I mean, Towns is unbelievable. And watching Towns and Anthony Davis from the Pelicans, New Orleans, the other night was awesome. I mean, they both are just amazing. And think of this, real quick, side tangent. In the last There was a 3-year stretch at Kentucky where it went DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, and Karl Anthony Towns. Think of that. Think of that. Let that marinate for 2 seconds. That's unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. 3 of the best centers in the league right now, and they went back to back to back at Kentucky. My God. But that's the problem. I shouldn't say that's the problem. There's numerous possibilities for that problem, and I don't know which it is. I do know this. Exactly. They need to be more of an ass on defense. That's absolutely right. And Jim says the willingness to grind defensively, much is effort related. I would argue almost 100% is effort related. Obviously, some talent involved, moving the feet and so forth, but more than anything, effort. They need to be more of an asshole on defense. An enforcer would be beneficial. 100% agree. And I like the fact that you brought up Draymond Green, too. With the Golden State Warriors, because I threw it out there to my friends the other day that I think Draymond, now with Kevin Durant on that team, Draymond Green is now this era's Dennis Rodman. And I think that's a good equal. I think that's a good comparison. He now doesn't shoulder much of the burden of scoring. Excuse me, but attitude definitely now. And he showed that last year too, even, with the whole kick to the balls and all that type of stuff. But I think he is now the guy on the Warriors that is the Rodman of the Bulls. And I think that's a great comparison. And that's only because his scoring has been diminished. It's been put aside. He got a triple-double the other night, and points weren't even in the equation. I think he had 4 or 6 points, And so that, to me, that is actually what made me think of the comparison is when he got that triple-double the other night, and I was looking at his points, and I was like, oh, wow, he got it in rebounds, steals, and assists, which is, I think he's the first person to ever do that. If I saw that correctly, I think he's the first person to ever do that, which is awesome. But now he is the Dennis Rodman, and look at how amazing Dennis Rodman was of a find for the Bulls, how he fit perfectly with Jordan and Pippen and company. That was a perfect marriage. Draymond Green now is just the guy who doesn't have to worry about anything except rebounds and being the agitator, getting in there and being physical. I think it's awesome. So yeah, Jim, I'm 100% on board with you, man. I really am. I think that is, Lance Stephenson came in, his first game in, played the whole fourth quarter. And so, defensively, I think Lance Stephenson kind of has that edge to him. I just don't know, but I 100% agree with you, in the sense of you have to have an attitude. It's about effort and it's about attitude on defense. If you don't want to play defense, well, then you're not going to play defense. I think it's pretty easy, right? And, the good teams, the Utah, Memphis, San Antonio, the 3 teams in the league that are actually holding people under 100 points per game, that is part of that team's DNA. That's what they're about. And everybody who watches basketball knows this. We all know that is what they're about. Dallas, that's kind of funny. Dallas is at 100.2, but they're offensively inept. It's just incredible. It's just incredible. Cleveland is giving up the same as the Timberwolves, 106 a game. Cleveland. It's amazing. Although they're scoring 111, so that helps. But man, it's just the times are changing, right? And that is the Timberwolves' problem. It's league-wide. The teams that are going to play defense, even Detroit, who obviously is known as playing good defense, 102 a game. I mean, it's pretty... Well, I shouldn't say it's surprising. It's not. NFL's the same way. Basketball now is the same way. Everybody wants scoring. Nobody wants to watch Wisconsin play Iowa in a 56-50 Big Ten basketball game. Nobody wants to, I guarantee you, if the Western Conference Finals was San Antonio and Utah, I mean, that would be disaster for the networks. Disaster. And it could happen. It could happen. That's the beauty, and I know a lot of you are laughing right now. Oh, well, like San Antonio and Utah are going to get there, you idiot. The beauty of playoffs is defense, ramps up. We see it in football every year except this year because, there wasn't necessarily a real dominant defensive team on either side, really, when you think about it. I mean, Seattle was down Earl Thomas, and so they weren't what they usually were, right? And so you had a Super Bowl that went, for the third time since 2000, did the over. But generally, come playoff time, defense steps up. So all I'm saying is, as great as Golden State is playing right now, and as unstoppable as they may appear, I wouldn't, be... Everybody says, yes, it's the Spurs who, only have the chance. And quite honestly, it's probably fact. I just said earlier, that's probably the only team that does. But, you look at a team like Utah. They're 34-21. Not bad. Not bad. Offensively, they're not a juggernaut. But 96 points a game they're letting up. That's almost 3 points better than the next team, which is the Spurs. Nobody, Cleveland, 106. Where's Golden State? 105.3. You can score on these teams. The Spurs, that's the best situation I'm looking at. You're scoring 107 and giving up 98. It's not the best plus minus. Golden State is at 13. San Antonio's at 8. That's fine. But, come playoff time, that could be a different story. We are 45 minutes in. Wow. I've been rambling on like a madman. You're listening to Shirts v. Skins. I am Alistair Conrath. If you missed the first part of the show, excuse me, basically I just talked about OKC and Golden State and how, the outcome of the game last night wasn't ever in question. It was, it's 1-on-5. Westbrook, and his Thunder are like the Bulls and Jordan back in the 80s. It's a one-man show. The difference is Jordan eventually got pieces to get him to championships, where Westbrook started off with pieces and got rid of them, and his, in essence, his chances at championships. And now he's just the highlight reel, and that's all he is. So I hit on that. Along with, the people's view of Durant and so forth. One thing I want to hit on, excuse me, two things. The fire sale in Atlanta after the Super Bowl was very surprising. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan left, the offensive coordinator there. He left, went and, became the head coach of San Francisco 49ers. They replaced him, by the way, with Steve Sarkisian, who was, for one game, the Alabama offensive coordinator for the national championship game that they lost. But he was going to be the offensive coordinator at Alabama this year. He left to go and join Atlanta. But what's surprising to me is that Dan Quinn fired the defensive coordinator and Brian Cox, the linebackers coach. And I can't think of the defensive coordinator's name right now. I'm sorry. But I just feel as though that's somewhat knee-jerk. I know midway through the season, Dan Quinn started calling the defensive plays anyway. So maybe this is something that he had obviously just wanted to do and finally got the opportunity to do it. And therefore, I feel like from a surface look, it seems a little knee-jerk, if you will. A little too quick. Atlanta's defense was on the field for 93 plays. You know, like, that's insane. Allison, good morning, beautiful. So to me, it just seemed like it was a little knee jerk, you know, just a little quick to react. I don't know. And then the second off, I have to hit on this because to me, it sounds legit. Okay. And when you're talking about Jerry Jones, you have to be able to, like, you have to keep that into the conversation because it's Jerry Jones. He is undecided on Romo. Now, and I know everybody, once again, this perfect situation, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. When the media throws something out, people automatically just say, oh yeah, that must be the way it is. Oh, I should just listen to everything the media says because they've always been right. Everybody says Dak Prescott is the guy. And why is it so bad to say he's actually not the guy? Do you really believe Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Tony Romo? And now I'm talking when healthy. Okay. Everybody's like, well, when he's healthy. That's what I'm saying. When he's healthy. When healthy, and granted, Tony Romo is having a tough time staying healthy. I get it. But when healthy, Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Sorry. You know, and everybody knows that. If you don't think that, you're an idiot. Number one. I'm sorry. But you obviously don't know football. Dak Prescott did it for 1 year. So did RG3. RG3 was the apple of everyone's eye. Oh my God, RG3 is going to be so good. Where's he now? You know, I mean, Dak Prescott, nothing against the guy. I've said this all year. But when you got a running back like Ezekiel Elliott and an offensive line like that, I mean, there's so many quarterbacks who could have done what he did this year. I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he didn't have a good year. He had a great year. But Tony Romo is better than Dak Prescott. So I'm sorry. And again, everybody's like, well, Jerry Jones is an idiot. How can he even, like, think twice about keeping Tony Romo around? Because Tony Romo's better. Duh. You know? That's how. Sorry. Dak, you had a cute year. Cute year. How they gave him the offensive rookie of the year. Oh my God. This is how my faith in society keeps just getting blasted and deteriorating. Situations like that. Like, really? Really? It was all Dak. Ezekiel Elliott? Nothing, right? If Dak did not have Ezekiel Elliott, Dak would have had a terrible year. Terrible. Yes, I will say that. He would have had a terrible year. No doubt in my mind. Terrible. Everybody's just so quick to piggyback. Oh, yeah, he must be really good. They're telling me he's good, so I'm just going to go with it. Tony Romo's better, sorry, than Dak. And here's the other kicker. I heard a rumor about Adrian Peterson going to the Cowboys. And everybody says, well, that makes no sense. And quite honestly, it doesn't. Because Ezekiel Elliott is really good. But the same situation like Romo and Dak. There's not a running back in the league when healthy who's better than Adrian Peterson. When he's healthy, I guess I should say. Adrian Peterson's the best back in the league, sorry. You know, I mean, granted, he's not the best pass catcher. He doesn't necessarily, he's not a great 3-down back. He doesn't block well, blah, blah, blah. As far as pure running goes, put him behind that offensive line in Dallas and see what Adrian Peterson does. I'm just saying. So think about Jerry Jones's perspective right now. He's got Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott on the cheap. They're on rookie contracts, and they're going to be for the next 3 or 4 years. So why not? You've got the offensive line right now. Jerry Jones has got to be thinking this. I've got the offensive line in place that if Tony Romo is healthy and Adrian Peterson is healthy, they win the Super Bowl. Really, they could possibly, and they do, they get a pass rusher in free agency or the draft. They could go to the Super Bowl. That's what Jerry's thinking right now. And Dak did exceptional in that playoff game. They got down quick, 21-3 to Green Bay. I think obviously that was the dagger. That hurt. But then they came back. And, and tied it up. Game-winning. That game was awesome, by the way. But that is why Jerry Jones is thinking the way he's thinking. And everybody's just going to be like, what are you saying? You're so dumb. Tony Romo is better than Dak Prescott. Adrian Peterson is a better runner than Ezekiel Elliott. So why wouldn't Jerry Jones want to have those two behind that offensive line with Des Bryant and company on offense and improve the D a little bit? That's a Super Bowl. With Dak and Ezekiel, keep in mind, now Dak, and I know this is rhetoric, it gets said all the time, but it's true. The defensive coordinators, the coaches in the NFL are super good. And they're going to have an opportunity the whole offseason to look at film on Dak Prescott and say, okay, this is what we need to do. I actually said it the whole year. It's not that tough. It really isn't that tough. And I know it's harder, easier said than done because the offensive line is so great. But you got to load up the box. You got to load up the box. That is how you stop Dallas's offense. Stop Ezekiel Elliott, stop the run, and you beat Dallas. Because that's the biggest difference between Dak Prescott and Tony Romo. Tony Romo is going to throw the ball downfield. He will be able to beat you through the air. Dak has not proven that yet. The run was so effective, obviously, this year with Ezekiel Elliott and that offensive line that nobody was able to just stop it and focus on Dak. It's not that tough. Load up the box. Make Dak beat you. That's what the Vikings with Adrian Peterson had to deal with for all those years with Tavares Jackson and Christian Ponder. Defenses knew that they weren't going to beat him through the air. And so they put 8 and 9 in the box every play to stop Adrian Peterson. And AP still got his. That's how good he is. He still got his. But nobody did that against Dallas this year, and it baffled me. Minnesota did. And you saw what happened. If Minnesota could have scored any points, they'd have won that game. Hands down. They did what they were supposed to do. The Giants did that too against Cowboys. Beat them twice. That's just, it's amazing. Hi, Mama. What's up, Mama? So it just, that is why Jerry Jones is thinking about keeping Romo. And it makes sense. It makes sense. If I was him, I would keep him. Just like the Patriots and Garoppolo. I wouldn't trade Garoppolo. Why? You got him on the cheap. You got him cheap. Why are you going to get rid of him? So as far as Jerry Jones, because I'm going to tangent into Garoppolo real quick. I've got about 5 minutes left here on Shirts v Skins. I'm Alistair Conrad. Thanks for joining. That is why Jerry Jones is thinking the way he is. Because when you break it down, when you think of, Tom Brady is winning championships at 40, 39 years old, 40. That's it. Jerry Jones is sitting there thinking, man, if Tony Romo can just stay healthy, and I know that is the biggest question, but if he can stay healthy behind that offensive line, and I can add Adrian Peterson behind that offensive line, I'm just spitting truth. That's the way he's looking at this right now. And everybody is so quick to be like, oh, yeah, Dak's the guy. Dak's the guy. Look at what he did. Okay. All right. As for Jimmy Garoppolo, if, in fact, the Patriots want to trade him, I agree with Colin Cowherd on this situation. Colin Cowherd said that the Patriots should be able to get a Herschel Walker deal for Garoppolo if they wanted to, and I 100% agree with them. The Patriots have all the leverage in this. People are literally talking about the Patriots getting one top 10 pick. One? How does this work? How does Jared Goff get 2 firsts, 2 seconds, all this? Who is RG3, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Jimmy Garoppolo, who's got NFL tape, who's been in a system in New England under one of the best coaches, if not the best coach of all time, the best quarterback or one of all time, and you're going to give up a 2 firsts, 2 seconds, whatever it is, for Jared Goff, but you won't do it for Jimmy Garoppolo? What is going on? I don't get it. I swear to God, I don't get it. This is why I should have a job as a GM in the NFL instead of a bunch of these idiots who never grew up playing sports or watching sports, but have a goddamn finance and business degree and are making personnel decisions. Stick to your numbers, you geeks. You don't know football. God, you don't know anything. I hate it. It kills me. You're going to give up the farm for Jared Goff, who's nothing. What's Jared Goff done? Tore up, Oregon, with their great defense, or Arizona State, it's unbelievable. But he's a hot knife through butter against Washington State. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo won 2 NFL games. And you're going to give up 1 pick? Patriots should get a draft. A whole draft. And next year's 1st and 2nd for Jimmy Garoppolo. Seriously. Seriously. How does that not even factor in? People are willing to do that for RG3 and Jared Goff, but you're not going to do it for Jimmy Garoppolo.
90 seconds.
A guy who's proven to win, who's been in a system in New England that, all they do is win. They just got one for the thumb the other day. He's playing behind Tom Brady. Probably picking up a couple things like Aaron Rodgers did with Brett Favre, right? And playing under Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels. My God, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? God, you gotta be kidding. Oh, I'll give you a 7th overall pick for Garoppolo. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's incredible. Patriots could get the farm for Garoppolo, and nobody, and again, that's just because media says, well, maybe this, and people are like, well, yeah, no way should they get 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and next year's 1st and 2nd, it's unreal, it's unbelievable. I'm just, whatever. Hope everybody has an awesome Sunday. I'm actually going to go and be a part of another podcast here at about noon. I'll tell you what that is later. I got 10 seconds. Have an awesome Sunday, fun day. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Alistair Conrad. This is Shirts v Skins. We're out. Take care. Thank you, everybody. Okay, hold on. Mom wants to see Woo. Oh, this is awesome. Check this out. Oh, hold on. Damn it. Oh, there he is. Hey, Woo. Say hi to Grandma. Oh? Say hi to Grandma. There you go, Mom. There he is, the cutest dog in the world. There's the cutest owner in the world. I love it. Okay. Love you all. Have an awesome Sunday fun day. I'll see you next week. Bye.